It does not matter how many official or unofficial meetings take place between India and China. China's aggressive attitude may never change. On Thursday, China and India were involved in a heated debate over Kashmir, after India formally divided the state of Jammu and Kashmir into two separate territories. In a news briefing, a spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, Geng Shuang, said, "The Indian government officially announced the establishment of so-called Jammu-Kashmir Territory and Ladakh Union Territory, which included some of China's territory, into its administrative jurisdiction." The Foreign Ministry spokesman for India was quick to reject China's comments. "We do not expect other countries, including China, to comment on the matters which are internal to India, just as India refrains from commenting on internal issues of other countries." Kumar went on to say that China is occupying some Indian territory illegally, in addition to illegally acquiring several Indian territories from Pakistan. China's aggressive attitude regarding its border with India is a bit baffling, as China is already facing multiple internal issues related to human rights violation and separatism. The United States is encouraging China to stop detaining ethnic Uyghurs and other Muslims. And by the way, does China also realize that, so far, New Delhi has not commented on the Chinese policies in Xinjiang? The Indian government's contact with Dalai Lama, leader of the Tibetan, who is currently living in isolation in northern India, has also been minimized. It can even be said that India is China's well-wisher. That is why India does not give official statements on China's secessionist movements. India doesn't want to take an unfair advantage of the Taiwan independence movement or the Tibet independence movement, something that the Western world has paid close attention to. China also faces an uphill task in relation to the East Turkestan independence movement and the overall tense situation in the so-called region of South Mongolia, Hong Kong and Macau. In addition, several other secessionist movements in China are occurring, although they are on a smaller scale than the others. The Shanghai, Cantonia and Manchuria independence movements are a few examples. Back in March of last year, a push for independence occurred in China as graffiti and posters were seen in the streets of Guangzhou. China was also very upset when some overseas Chinese activists started campaigning for the independence of Shanghai. It was reported that the founders of the Shanghai National Party, many of whom live in New York State, say they want to campaign for independence and autonomy for the city. According to reports from the Foreign Ministry in China, the Chinese people were offended and hurt by the actions of the organization. A researcher at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, Vicky Zhu, has spent almost 2 decades living and attending school in China. She writes about her experience saying, "On the first day of primary school, we were giving a student handbook in which the first rule was to love the country and the ruling party. Growing up, Taiwan is a sacred, inseparable part of China, was taught to us as a fact, just like the earth is round." In 2016, at the Beijing's Great Hall of the People event, which symbolized that 150 years had passed since Sun Yat-sen was born, China's president stated that, "We will never allow any person, any group, any political party at any time, in any way, to split from China any part of its territory." So, is the Indian government's current policy too soft to handle a nation like China, which believes in muscle flexing? What is our viewers' take on this? See you again.